everybody. Oh, yeah. Welcome back to another hot episode of a very special podcast. This is the podcast in which you talk about all your favorite TV series from yesteryear. Oh, yeah, baby. And then we discuss it over a big-ass bottle of whiskey. You bet your bippy we do. And as always, I'm your host, Patrick M. Dunn, and I'm joined here by my right hand, whoa, man, quarantine queen, Kat Halstead. The student. How are you? How are you, girl?
I'm just fabulous. Just super fabulous. Might be going a little stir crazy.
How's film school going? You working on any cool new screenplays, spec scripts?
You know, I have not started my classes for the week. That is on my to-do list to do later today. So, we shall see.
Yeah, baby. And for all of our adoring fans out there, we're block recording, so we're all recording this in a span of 5 days. So this could be mid. I don't know. Who knows when it will be when this episode drops? But who knows what world it will be then?
Who knows?
It just might be a wilder new world.
Nobody knows. Not even the psychics.
Nobody knows but me. Shout out to the Tony Rich Project. I think.
I don't know.
What? You don't know who the Tony Rich Project is?
No, I don't.
Come on, that was an 8th grade dance classic.
If I heard it, I'd probably be oh yeah, I kind of know that song, but I don't think it was one of our classics that we heard all the time.
It was no Gangster's Paradise, I'll tell you that, but it was a modest hit,
I mean, Gangster's Paradise was the thing.
Yeah, that's when that started playing. You walked into the dance, all the boys walked in. There was smoke behind them.
Well, what's so funny is the DJ who did all the dances at the school did all the dances at the rec center.
Oh.
And we only had 2 dances at the school each year, but then there was a dance at the rec center every month that we didn't have a dance at the school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a Friday night, winter jam or something.
Yeah, so...
Snowball. We had snowballs.
There's a Friday night dance, once a month.
Yeah, they were always theme names. In October, we'd have the fall ball, and then in I don't know, January, it'd be the snowball.
I'm trying to think. We might have had themes for the middle school ones, but I don't remember. I know the rec center didn't have a theme. It was just whatever, the dance.
And April was the spring fling. I loved it. I don't know, whoever was in charge of this committee, the dance committee, they were fucking great. But hold on. 8th grade, it kind of ties into what we're talking about today, right?
Kind of. A little.
And I'm excited about this because I was a little bit on the fence. This is a show I've never seen before. And now I am fully immersed in this world. I watched, I don't know, 12 episodes last night of this series.
I mean, okay, to be fair, when this series came out, we were out of high school. We were in college.
This is way out of our demographic. We were not the key demographic for this.
But somehow I found it. I don't even remember how. I think because my brother was still watching the Disney Channel, and I just found it one day,
accidentally,
when he had left the room or something, or he was on the computer on AOL and I was watching TV or whatever. And then I discovered it or something.
It's kind of how I started watching the Carrie Diaries before I ever seen an episode of Sex and the City. And then I was you know what? I'm just going to go back now and watch Sex and the City, because why not? I'm fully immersed in the Carrie Diaries. R.I.P. the Carrie Diaries. Call us, tweet us at Very Podcast. Tell us what it's like to be a canceled CW show. Miss you guys, miss you girls. That's you know what? That show should have gone on for 8 seasons. And maybe a wrap-up movie. A wrap-up direct-to-Netflix movie. It would have been great. Would have loved it. I need closure. I need to know what happens to Carrie Bradshaw, to young Carrie Bradshaw, and her, high school boyfriend.
They don't end up together.
I know.
I hate to break this to you, because she ends up as the Carrie Bradshaw.
I need to know why that Carrie Bradshaw on Sex and the City never mentioned her, younger sister ever. I need to know. I need to know what happened to Dorrit.
Yeah.
All right. Lizzie McGuire. It was 2001 to 2002-ish, right? Something like that?
Then
there's a movie, a wrap-up movie.
So, yeah.
It was 03. I looked it up. All right. So, fun story. You want a fun little Lizzie story?
Yeah, let's hear a fun little Lizzie McGuire story.
All right. So, as I said, I watched 12 episodes last night. I watched it with a coworker. We were at work. It's kind of a slow night. And she was when this show aired in 2001, she was like the prime age. She was like, I don't know, middle school-esque. So we watched all these episodes, like 12 episodes last night, and she knew them word for word. She knew the fucking like key lines and everything, and then she would just like spoil the scene for me.
Mm-hmm.
And she knew all the words to the theme song, and she knew everything about it. Everything about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, you know what? I felt like I got the full Lizzie McGuire experience, because if I just watched this on my own, I wouldn't have, realized how important this show was. But when I was watching it with someone who like lived through it, it allowed me to see it on a deeper level. And then like I would like make reference to some of the references they would make to, or I would laugh at like some of these weird jokes. Like there's a Mike Tyson joke in this episode, and I was like cracking at it, and she's like, "What? What's that? Who's that? I don't know who that is."
Oh God.
It's great. It's great. All right. So which episode of Lizzie McGuire did we select? We selected probably the cream of the crop. Out of the 12 episodes I watched last night, this was probably the best one.
It is probably the most famous episode of Lizzie McGuire.
Yes, there's like, I don't know, a write-up article about it. Like if you like search this episode, there's an interview with like the writer of the episode. It's great. I love it.
We did the most famous episode of all, between a rock and a bra place.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So one thing I want to point out about this series, Lizzie McGuire, as I said, I watched 12 episodes last night. They bring up bras a lot. Like, that's like a weird recurrent theme in the series. It's in the first episode. There's like a rumor about Kate and that she stuffs her bra. This whole universe is just wild to me.
So, this is one of the things I knew you were going to be like, why do they talk so much about bras?
She came prepared.
Bras, when you were younger, are this very, like, iconic thing, if you think about it. It's like this transition from childhood to adulthood, and there's all kinds of stuff that goes along with your first bra. And then there's, like, this whole, like, oh, does this girl, are those girls stuffing their bra, or is it real? And then it's a whole mess.
As a boy, I guess I don't experience this phenomenon. I don't know anything about it. And, in a lot of like teen-based sitcoms or series or dramas or whatever, there's a lot of pivotal things that come up in a lot of these shows. Like shoplifting is this one recurring thing that seems to happen in like all teen-based things. Like there's a Facts of Life shoplifting episode.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Small Wonder did it. Beverly Hills 90210. It's just this like thing. Marissa Cooper shoplifts. Like, it's this thing. But, I don't know, I was looking back and I was like, you know what, there has not been a bra episode of any, I can't recall a bra episode of any other series.
Not really. Like, there might be one where somebody, like, stuffs their bra or something. Like, maybe Kimmy Gibbler stuffed her bra on Full House at some point. I feel like that happened. But even that.
Yeah, like this episode is about Lizzie and Miranda buying their first bra, and it's this like huge ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
And they try to they have to keep it a secret from their family and friends.
Bras are embarrassing, okay? Like, it's just like a weird. Okay, but I'm saying this as someone who, at the age of 9, I got my first training bra. That was like a weird thing. Like, I was like, really? I'm only 9 and I need a training bra already?
That's like a practice? Like you practice wearing a bra?
Yeah, it's supposed to because I looked at the purpose right now, because I was like, what is the purpose of a fucking training bra? It's just there so it's to support like your breasts as they start to like blossom, and to help you like adjust to having to wear a bra. So like I got my first training bra at 9 years old. And I was like, I don't want to wear this. I don't want to wear this. Why do I have to wear this? And then I got my first bra at 11. I got it like right before the end of 5th grade.
Gordo, the character Gordo in this, it's Lizzie and Miranda's like BFF, their boy best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And he when he finds out that they're going to the mall to buy a bra, he like loses his shit. He like loses his mind.
Okay, think back to like 12-year-old Patrick, 13-year-old Patrick. If you were best friends with 2 girls and they said, oh, we're going to the mall to buy bras, you don't want to go do that.
I'm going to throw this out there. I actually had like girl best friends. Like I mostly just I had like a few like boyfriends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had like gal pals. I don't know. I just kind of like lived in that world. So like I remember when my friend Susan, she was probably about like 9, 10, 11-ish. And actually, no, I do remember the training bra. I do remember her like talking about training bra. So I was just kind of like, it was normal to me. You know, I was just brought up into this world. It was a part of my world, to quote Ariel. Yeah, so I don't know, like it didn't seem like a big deal to me. And then when I was like watching this episode, I was trying to think of it from like a different lens, like a real boys lens. I don't know. I guess this is like what real boys freaked out about. You know, people that didn't like hang out with chicks. You know, I'd be with like my other friends. We play like Ninja Turtles till like 3, and then I would like go and hang out with Susan after. And then we'd play like house and stuff, or like kitchen sets or whatever, like dining room. We would have like fake tea parties. So like I was just kind of like immersed in both worlds. So it just seemed, I don't know, it just like was normal to me. I don't know. That's just the only way I can explain it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if anyone else has like experienced that. Like any of our male listeners, tweet us at very podcast. Tell us if, I don't know, like you were a Gordo in this scenario, and we'll get to it in the episode. We'll definitely get to it. So I think we should do we do a cast breakdown?
I mean,
before like we really get into it.
Yeah, let's talk about the cast.
All right, because I feel like a lot of, I don't know how many of our listeners were like Lizzie stans. I don't know. I feel like we'll like have to really get into like what the show is, what it's about, and who these people are.
Yeah.
And just how weird the show is, and there's weird sound effects, and there's animated cutscenes.
I love this show so much.
There's so much to it. There's so much to it. And we talked about this pre-podcast, and we've talked about this about other teen shows that we've done. So the show, what came out? We decided 2001 or 2003.
Yeah, it came out in 2001 and ran until 2004.
Okay.
But the movie came out in 2003.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. So the movie was like in the middle. Lizzie in the middle. All right.
But the events of the movie take place after everything that happened in the series.
Because the seasons are long. Like each season's like 30 episodes, right?
Yeah, so it's like really, it's what, 2 seasons, but they like go out for forever.
They probably spaced them apart. They did like that South Park thing where they do like probably a few at a time.
Yeah.
We've talked about this when we've done other teen sitcoms and dramas. So we've realized that a lot of these shows are written by people that are probably like in their late 20s to early 30s. And that their ideology of, preteens or teenagers is how they remembered life. And they will always include a lot of like their personal references into stuff. And you kind of see a lot of that in Lizzie McGuire. You can tell that it is written by people who probably like came of age in the late 80s, early 90s, based on the references, the guest stars that they just like randomly decide to include in the show.
I mean, yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, and like, and if you look back, you can see it because like you watch like Dawson's Creek, like Kevin Williamson always makes references to movies from like the late 70s.
Yeah,
like The Breakfast Club and Steven Spielberg movies, and in 90210, there's always these like weird James Dean era references. Like there was no like James Dean like characters in our high school. Like, did you go to school with like a James Dean type kid?
No. Sorry, I got distracted. I just started thinking about how much I loved the Breakfast Club episode of Dawson's Creek.
Oh yeah.
And it's got, like, the Days of Our Lives scenes. Oh, my God. I'm going to have to pull the DVDs out later.
When we did Sweet Valley High, it takes place in the 80s, we decided, but the people kind of, like, act like it's the 50s or 60s. So, I kind of feel like when you watch Lizzie McGuire, you're watching an early 2000s series. Like, we're in a post-9/11 world.
Yeah.
But the characters are acting like it's, like, 1989 to 1992.
I think it's a little later for them. I would put it more of a late 90s.
Well, I looked up some of the writers, and the writers are like a few years older than us. They're probably like 5 or 6 years older than us. So a lot of their pop culture references are like rooted in like early 90s.
Yeah.
Like as I said, there's a Mike Tyson joke, and it's Mike Tyson kind of like peaked in the early 90s, and then he didn't like become relevant again until, I don't know, whenever he did The Hangover, which was like 2007-ish?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so I could just picture a lot of like confused tweens in 2001 being like, who's Mike Tyson?
Okay.
And who's David Carradine? Why is that a thing? What's Kung Fu? Yeah, well, okay, so Robert Carradine is the dad in the series. Robert Carradine and David Carradine are brothers, and David Carradine appears in this episode.
And I'm going to tell you, I went down a freaking rabbit hole about the Carradine family last night.
As did I. Oh my god.
And I was, like, blown away. Like, I didn't realize Martha Plimpton,
yep,
the mom from Raising Hope was a Carradine.
Yeah, oh yeah, she's a Carradine, and I love that you just pinpoint Martha Plimpton as the mom from Raising Hope, completely forgetting that she was in the Goonies and the original Parenthood movie. She was like the go-to tragic teen.
Okay, so here's the thing. I've never seen the Goonies. We've gone over this.
We have, I know.
I've never seen the Goonies, and I have actually never seen the Parenthood movie. Like,
oh my god,
full on.
We got to do Martha Plimpton month.
Like I think I actually have it on DVD. Yeah, I do. It's on the same DVD as House Sitter.
Ooh.
But I've never, like, sat down and watched it.
All right. For our Patreon movie night podcast, we'll have to do the Goonies and, like, Parenthood, like, back to back. It'll be like Martha Plimpton month. In the late 80s, early 90s, when you wanted to do a teen movie and have, like, a tragic teen character, just kind of, like, just a weird, tragic female character, you just, like, called up Martha Plimpton. She was on standby.
Really? See, I'd say you call up Ali Sheedy.
Well, I think Ali Sheedy kind of was maybe played out. I don't know. Like, Ali Sheedy kind of, like, disappeared for a long time. I don't know. Maybe, you know what? Maybe they rotated. It's like, you know what? We don't want, like, Hollywood was filming a movie with Ali Sheedy. They couldn't get Ali Sheedy, so they were like, all right, we'll just use Martha Plimpton. Let's get Martha Plimpton to play Keanu Reeves' girlfriend in Parenthood.
Okay.
And actually, no, hold on. It's the other way around. Keanu Reeves is Martha Plimpton's boyfriend, because Martha Plimpton's, like, the bigger character, and Keanu Reeves is just, like, the boyfriend that shows up.
There's no singing and dancing, though, from Keanu Reeves, I'm guessing.
He was totally, like, his, like, Bill and Ted character.
Okay.
Just in, like, a more realistic setting. It wasn't him traveling through time and space and to hell and back.
And not trying to save the land of toys.
I don't know. Parenthood's a great movie. It definitely holds up. All right. You wanna do character corner?
So, here's the cast. First, we, of course, have our star, Hilary Duff, as Lizzie McGuire. Her breakout role, this is, you know, what she will forever be known for. Lizzie has a special place in her heart, and she would love to do the Lizzie reboot if Disney would get their crap together.
Well,
Yeah.
not Lizzie. Hilary wants it to be on Hulu because she says it's a little more dicier than Disney Plus.
So she was totally down with it being on Disney Plus, but Disney didn't want to have that kind of content.
She wants to do like a PG-13 version of it, I'm thinking.
Yeah, like just like adult Lizzie. Like Lizzie can have a glass of wine or be hungover, you know what I mean? Or have a one-night stand or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, I'm down for it. You know what?
Disney Plus is like, no! And it's like, what? No! Give me my damn grown-up Lizzie McGuire. I've been waiting for this. She's totally like the character you want to see grown up. See how she turned out, you know?
This is like Marsha Brady being an alcoholic in the Brady's, like, 1990s series. Like, I want, like, new Lizzie. Because Lizzie's not going to grow up and just be, like, a total dork, you know? It's not like she's going to act like the way she did when she was a tween.
No.
She's matured. She's experienced life. It's, I don't know, like, nearly 20 years later. So, yeah, like, let her, like, have, like, a walk of shame. Let her get, like, you know, maybe she went to a bar one night, got drunk.
Yeah.
Like, had, like, revenge sex because, I don't know, maybe, like, Gordo was just being a jerk, and she's like, fuck Gordo, and just went out and, I don't know, like, who knows? Like, she made a mistake. Who cares? Like, I want it. I want to see it. Maybe she gets in a fight with somebody. Maybe she smokes a joint. Like, who knows? Like, let's have...
Yeah.
I want to see adult Lizzie experience life as adult Lizzie should. I don't want her to be, like, her actual mom on the show, who is just, like, a parody of... she's just, like, the quintessential Disney Channel original series, DCOM, Disney Channel original movie mom. She's just lame. Like, lame as fuck. We don't want that for Lizzie. Mm-hmm. I feel like Lizzie grew up to be cool. She got rid of, like, her stuttering, like, where she, you know, was nervous all the time, trying to confront Kate.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I want to see what Kate's up to now. Like, I feel like Kate's probably that, like, conspiracy theory mom that's on Facebook. She thinks the coronavirus is a hoax.
Oh my god, I could totally see it.
Staring away at the keyboards, trying to sell vitamins and essential oils. That's Kate. That's Kate today. It's totally Kate. We'll get to Kate in a minute. We'll get to her in a minute.
Okay, we're going to come back to that. Okay, so then we have Jake Thomas as Matthew McGuire, the quintessential annoying little brother.
All right, hold on. About Matthew, the quintessential annoying brother, my friend Carly, coworker who was like immersed in this world, she told me last night that she thinks that Lizzie McGuire's mom drank a lot of coffee during her pregnancy, and that's why Matthew is Matthew or Matt.
Oh my god.
And that that the McGuire mom, Mrs. McGuire, probably has like caffeine pills in her medicine cabinet, and the little boy probably just takes them all the time. He just thinks they're like Flintstone vitamins.
Oh my god.
Because
I could 100% see that.
Yeah, because we were watching this last night, and she's like, that kid is on drugs. Like, that 7-year-old boy is on drugs. Like, he's on something.
Well, apparently he was like 11 or so. Like, he was like 11 and Lizzie was 13, so.
And his hairstyle?
Oh god, the hair. That was like classic 2000s young boy hair, though.
It's like Lisa Simpson's hair in real life is like what his hairstyle was.
Okay. And then we have Adam Lambert as Gordo.
And Gordo,
Lizzie's best friend.
Do you want to hear something wild? So I looked up, like, Gordo is like really close to our age. He was born in like 84, 83 or something.
Yeah.
So I did the math. He would have been like 17 when they did the show. And it just blew my mind. It just blew my mind because Gordo, the character of Gordo, like 3 years after the show ended, we totally could have like bumped into him at a bar and like had a drink with him.
I find that is something that happens a lot on Disney shows where like they'll cast like this older guy who looks way young.
Yeah, because that's like the guy that's on Girl Meets World, like the main Lucas, is that his name?
Peyton Meyer. Yeah, he was like
wildly older
than Rowan. Yeah, and then the brother on Hannah Montana, the guy who played Jackson, was in his like freaking 20s. Playing somebody like 15, 16, 17.
Oh, it's wild. It's wild to me.
So it's something that happens a lot with Disney, and I find it very curious. I mean, to be fair, these guys look young.
Yeah, because...
You know?
Alright, we'll get into it, but like, I was trying to like pinpoint the ages of the character. So like, Miranda and Lizzie like seem like the same age, but they're like Nemesis Kate just seems like she's like 4 years older. Like she just seems so much older.
Okay, so for that, I'm gonna say a lot of it is the just biological, each person's own biological blossoming.
Okay. At one point, weren't Miranda, Lizzie, and Kate all like BFFs? They were like inseparable, like pre-show.
Yeah. So like they were all friends, but then like something happened. I'm sure it was more than Kate getting her first bra that led Kate to being like besties with what's her face, Claire. Claire is probably one of the bitchiest characters you will come across in this series. Like, here's the thing. Deep down, Kate actually has a heart. She's actually really not that bad, but she has somehow gotten herself wrapped up into this popularity spin that she doesn't know how to get out of it. There are times where you can tell she is not happy, Miss Queen Bee or whatever.
Claire was always the cool girl, like always the mean girl. Like Claire is actually the Regina George, and Kate just kind of like, because she, I don't know, like there was just something about her that just made her end up being the captain of this like squad. Kate is totally Regina George. I just want to point that out there. She was Regina George before Regina George.
She was a mean girl before Mean Girls.
Yeah, I was watching this, and I was like, oh, she's totally ripping off Regina George. And then I looked up like at the timeline, and I was like, oh, this is like before Mean Girls. So maybe Tina Fey watched this and was thinking, hey, I need to make Regina George like Kate. Kate's Regina George. So I don't know, I love it. It's great. I love it. All right, so... who else we have in the cast?
Well, we have Hallie Todd as Joe McGuire, who's the mom. We have Robert Carradine plays Sam McGuire, which is Lizzie's dad. We already went over the whole Carradine family. I
want to point out, I hate the parents. I hate the parents in this show. I don't know. The parents just irked me. I don't know why. There was just something about them. I got weird Dennis the Menace vibes. They were like Alice and the Dennis the Menace dad vibes from them, but in a 2000s-ish version of it.
Well, to be fair, Matt is very much Dennis the Menace.
That is true. So it's like this is basically just like Dennis the Menace, but Dennis the Menace has a sister, and they just put the focal point on the sister.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. All right. We just cracked the code. We just cracked the Lizzie McGuire code.
And then we have Lelaine as Miranda Sanchez.
Oh, yeah?
Who is purported to be Lizzie's best friend, but I think in the end, Gordo is really Lizzie's best friend.
Yeah, Lizzie and Gordo are really like the BFFs, and Miranda's just like the girl BFF.
Miranda's the best gal pal, but because Lizzie and Miranda are both girls, they think they're each other's best friends.
Yeah, and...
Because, like, I can make the same argument for Girl Meets World, where Riley and, Maya think they're each other's best friends, but in reality, Riley's best friend is Farkle.
That is true, and you know what?
So,
Had the show pursued more of their high school years, I think Miranda would have just kind of developed into more of the free spirit that she seems like, and she kind of would have become... I feel like I see like a very like Rayanne from My So-Called Life-ish type arc for Miranda in like 10th or 11th grade. She kind of just like goes off and does her own weird hippie child thing, and I don't know, gets mixed up with the wrong crowd for a little while, and then maybe senior year, her and Lizzie get back together.
Oh my god.
For a redemption arc.
This is gonna be great.
Alright.
This is gonna be great. So, there is one thing that, because you haven't watched the whole series, you don't know this.
I have not.
There is a point where Miranda just kind of vanishes.
Oh.
She's, like, off visiting her aunt in Mexico for, like, a really long time. But because of the way Disney aired the episodes out of order, it's like 1 week she's visiting her aunt, but the next week she's back. But then the next week she's gone again.
We're getting that Tori from Saved by the Bell kind of thing going on.
Except, like, there was nobody brought in to replace her. It was just we finally dove into more of the Lizzie-Gordo connection.
Conspiracy Corner. Miranda got mixed up with the wrong crowd. Maybe she got really into, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like a hot band. A Simple Plan. She became like a Simple Plan groupie. Like some pop punk band she really got into, and she started following them around and became really enthralled in that world. Maybe Ryan Cabrera. Maybe she started dating Ryan Cabrera. Ryan Cabrera's secret girlfriend.
Well,
Ashley Simpson was pissed. Ashley was pissed and wanted to fucking cut Miranda's throat.
Oh my god.
I can see it happening.
And then for the final cast member I'll bring up is Ashley Brulot.
Yeah, Kate Conner.
And, like, now she's a lawyer.
In real life, or the character's a lawyer?
Like, she doesn't act anymore. The only thing she ever did were the Lizzie McGuire show and the movie, and now she's a lawyer.
You know what? I did get lawyer vibes from her. Like, I was like, you know, she's either, like, today she's a lawyer, or she's, like, the PR girl for, like, a really shitty company. I could picture, like, BP oil, like, spills a bunch of oil in the Gulf, and... the actress that plays Kate is, like, the spokeswoman who comes out and tries to make BP oil, like, sexy again or something. That's totally the vibe I got from her.
The only, like, thing missing from this episode was Ethan Kraft, played by Clayton Snyder, who we have actually talked about before because he was in Poe Party.
Oh! Which
we did, like, about 2 years ago.
We've totally talked about him before, yeah. Wild stuff.
Like, when I realized that's who that was, I was like... what? So, yeah.
I stan. All around stan.
Yeah.
All right. You want to get into the beats of the episode? Get into the hot beats, and then I can talk about all my crazy conspiracies about this show?
Okay. We're definitely going to talk. Okay. So, in this episode, we start with the girls are getting, like, they're done with gym class, so they're getting, like, back into their school clothes out of, like, their gym clothes. And, like, Lizzie's, like, reclipping her hair and stuff. And they're talking about this one girl in the class who, like, the last few weeks, she has turned into, like, this, like, dodgeball monster. Like, just chucking the balls, like... and the change in her attitude happened when she got her first bra.
And they related to Kate. They said a similar thing happened to Kate. As soon as she started wearing her bra, she just turned into this mega bitch.
Yeah.
They're just, like, low-key talking about it, figuring it out, and I don't know. Lizzie and Miranda, well, I think it's more Lizzie more than Miranda, but Lizzie, I think, is trying to capture the same popularity that Kate has. That's, like, the kind of impression that I get. Like, Lizzie wants to be popular. She wants to be, like, the it girl. She wants to be the trendsetter.
Lizzie feels like she's this nobody who's not good at anything. But throughout the series, you realize Lizzie really is good at stuff. She's really confident. She just doesn't see it in herself.
You notice a lot in the show. As soon as she gets confronted by something, especially her mom in this episode, she starts stuttering, she starts stammering, she freezes up, she says the wrong thing. She further implicates herself. Miranda is very like cool, calm, and collective. She's very clear-headed, and she can, she thinks like a few steps ahead. I guess like Miranda would be okay if she was popular. She'd be okay with it, but I feel like I just get like way free spirit vibes from her. Like, you know what? Someone's gonna like introduce her to like some cool classic rock thing, like Courtney Love. Courtney Love is now like classic rock. She'll just discover something cool like that. Just get wrapped up into it and just be like a completely different person. And she's just telling people that she's going to visit her grandmother in Mexico when she's really out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Going to cool like Riot Girl concerts and I don't know, maybe like drinking a Mike's Hard Lemonade. Sublime Hard Lemonade, wasn't that a thing too? Did you ever drink Sublimes?
No, I don't think so. I used to drink like this Jack Daniels punch stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally. They were like in smaller bottles, right? They were like little like mini bottles, kind of.
Yeah, they were in the. I love the bottles. Ugh. Like, my favorite flavor got, like, discontinued, and now I can't remember what it was, but yeah.
All right, so the boxes were all black, and then the flavoring of the, whatever drink you were drinking, the font was a different color.
Yeah.
So if you had, like, a grape one, the font would be, like, purple. If you had, like, a lime one, the font would be green.
Yeah.
That's just all I remember about it. I loved it.
That's all I remember. Like, I can remember now, too. So, the girls are, like, talking about, like, maybe it's time we get our first bras. They're definitely at that age where it should be happening, and like I said earlier, I got my first one at 11. I was still in the 5th grade, and I was like the first girl to get one.
You were that girl in 5th grade with like big ass boobies. There's always like 1 or 2 girls with boobs in like 5th grade.
Yeah, that was me. I was also the one who got my first period in 5th grade, so fabulous.
So you were the focal point, probably. You were like that girl that has boobs in 5th grade. And did all the boys like talk about you because you had boobs?
God, I have no idea. I just like, I'm really glad, like, when I got my first period, it was like the last week of 5th grade.
There was a girl, I can't remember, her first name was I'll bleep that part out, but she had titties. She had titties in like 5th grade, and all the boys would just talk about her titties. Then the following year, no, like everyone had boobs, so then it was just like normal. But like that one year, it's that one girl that had boobs.
So yeah, I was the first one, or at least it was definitely like one of the first ones, if not the first. Yeah, it just wasn't fun.
Or you know what? Or maybe it was like a very self-conscious girl that like wore like baggier clothes to hide them. Maybe that was a thing.
Oh, that was definitely a thing. 100%, because I was one of those girls.
Starter jackets were in.
Baggier clothes were starting to come in, so yeah.
Yeah, everyone wanted to be TLC.
So the girls were saying they want their first bras, but like they don't want to go shop. They don't want to tell their moms, because moms get like kind of weird about that stuff, I guess.
Especially Lizzie's mom.
Like, I didn't realize I needed a bra, but my mom was like, nope, you're getting a bra.
Lizzie's mom's like really weird about things too.
Yeah.
There's just something about Lizzie's mom. She just wants to get herself like wrapped up in everything. And Lizzie knows this. The way that I gathered it is like any time that like Lizzie and Miranda go to the mall, the mom goes. Mrs. McGuire goes with them, and she goes into the store, and she's that mom that, like, the girls from the dressing room, and she's opening the door and, like, throwing all the clothes in there, like, oh, this will look cute on you.
That is 100% Joe, and that's exactly what happened.
Under a normal circumstance, maybe it's cool. But when you're shopping for your first bra, you don't want the door to open up and have, like, mom throw in, like, 6 bras for you to try on because she thinks they're cute. Like, they're cute colors or something.
At this point, you just, like, want, like, whatever. Like, you don't even really know what you want for a bra.
Yeah, so... So Lizzie and Miranda want to keep it a secret from the mom. Lizzie knows that, mom's going to ask, like, why I'm going to the mall.
They just say they need to get school supplies.
They go back to the McGuire house, and she mentions that she wants to go to the mall, and they're like, all right, yeah, like the mom's like, yeah, I need to get a few things, too. And she's like, great. And she's like, what do you need? And she's like, oh, school supplies. And she's like, for what? And Lizzie's like, school supplies? I need school supplies. Like, she doesn't know how to answer the question. And Miranda's like, oh, for a special project we're working on. She's like, oh, okay. She's like, well, I'll come with you. And she's like, no, like, you gotta drop us off. And the mom's confused. The mom, like, doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
The mom's like, whatever, okay. So I guess, like, the girls probably go back upstairs and talk about it. And meanwhile, like, Gordo calls. We don't see it happen, but Gordo calls. The mom's like, oh, like, Gordo must need to come to the mall, too.
Yeah. Like, right as the girls go upstairs... the phone rings and Joe answers it, so I assume That's when Gordo calls.
Okay, yeah. So the mom
And Joe's like, oh yeah, we're going to the mall to get school supplies.
Gordo shows up at the house and he's like, oh, all excited to go to the mall. Maybe he wanted to go to like the video game store. He wanted to go to GameStop, get a DS game, a Nintendo DS game, or GameCube, whatever was like the hot thing at the time.
Okay, let's be real. Gordo wanted to go to Suncoast Video.
What? All right, it's 2001. What video would Gordo be buying at this point in time? Let's try to figure it out.
Okay, so we have to take into consideration that Gordo is actually a film geek. He's very Dawson Leary.
That is true.
And
that is true. And he's like into things that other kids his age aren't into, like the Rat Pack.
So he could just be down to check out like whatever old movies they have available. Because, you know, Suncoast would always have, like, a collection of older fare.
Yes.
That you could get.
I gotta figure it out.
So.
He was looking for the original Ocean's 11.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
The Rat Pack Ocean's 11. That's what he's looking for. Because the Rat Pack episode is the episode following this. So I feel like this is, like, the origin story of that.
Okay.
He was just starting to dabble. He was starting to dabble in it.
I see it.
So he shows up at the McGuire house, and Actually, he doesn't show up yet. The mom's like, are you guys ready to go? To the girls, and they're like, yeah. And then the doorbell rings, and it's Gordo. And Gordo, I don't know, his mom probably gave him like $40 and was like, just get whatever you can at the mall. And the girls are floored. The girls are like, wait, Gordo's coming? Gordo can't come. And the mom's like, why? I mean, you guys are going to be working on the same school project. And Lizzie's like, yeah, but this is like for a class that we're not in together. And Gordo's like, we're on all the same classes. And Miranda's like, not gym. Like, you're not in the same gym class as us. Mm-hmm. This is like a super secret project for gym. And Mrs. McGuire is like, I love like Mrs. McGuire, Joe McGuire's face in this is like classic, like clueless sitcom mom. She's just so confused. She's so perplexed. She's like trying to figure this out, but she's an older woman. How old are the parents? I was trying to like figure out like what their ages are, because Robert Carradine is like older than my dad in real life. He's like 5 years older than my dad. So I was trying to figure out like are they in their 30s? Are the parents in their 30s? Or are they I don't know. Or it's just like the dad older but the mom younger.
I feel like, because I thought about this when I did my massive Lizzie rewatch. Like, right when Disney Plus dropped. Like, Disney Plus dropped, this is what I watched. I watched Lizzie McGuire. Like, my profile icon is Lizzie McGuire.
Mine is Ursula. Mine's Ursula, by the way.
I mean, if, like, you pull up, Disney Plus comes up on my TV, and you get Lizzie McGuire, Donald Duck, and Darth Vader. I was like, how old are the parents supposed to be? I can see, at the youngest, they are, like, late 30s.
Yeah, see, I was guessing the dad was older. The dad was like 38.
I would say anywhere between late 30s to like to mid 40s, you know?
Okay. I gathered the dad was a lot like 5 or 6 years older than the mom. That's like the way I looked at it.
Yeah.
I knew the mom had to definitely be older than like 32, because she just seemed like she was so far removed from her tweenage years. Because she didn't know how to act. She doesn't know how to act with her daughter. I think that's my interpretation of it. Like I feel like she had Lizzie late 20s.
Okay.
She had like a fun and wild like early 20s. Things were great. Times were fun. She had her way. And then I don't know. Maybe she was like 26-ish, and then she met Robert Carradine's, the dad, and got knocked up. They got married, and now it's like. Yeah, I guess late 30s. I guess I could see it. Late 30s, early 40s. That pinpoint about the age, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And she's just so far removed from her being 11 that she just can't remember it anymore. Because she's just batshit insane. Like, she doesn't have that, like, wise wisdom of Cindy Walsh. You know, like Cindy Walsh just, like, is a timeless character that just seems to relate her life experiences with her kids and her kids' friends. I feel like Mrs. McGuire doesn't have that. Yeah,
like she's no Maggie Seaver.
No, like she's just so far removed from it. You know what? Tie it back to Mean Girls. In a way, like exact personality, but in the cluelessness of the character, Mrs. McGuire is like Amy Poehler's character in Mean Girls. She just doesn't know how to like act with her daughters.
Yeah, but she's also not like
her daughter.
A ridiculous cool mom either.
No, she's just so out of touch. Like, I feel like she doesn't remember what it's like to be like 11 years old. Like, she just had such like a wild teenage
But she's also not trying to be 11 years old.
That's why it was like a hard comparison for me to do.
Gordo shows up, and then Lizzie and Miranda like, he can't go. It's the one class we don't have with Gordo, and he's like, that's gym. And then finally Lizzie's like, I want a bra! And everybody's like, oh crap.
Gordo's out. He's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Everyone's in the room. The dad's in the room. Matt's in the room. They're all like shook, and we'll get to the side storyline after we get to the bra storyline.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
All right.
But and then so Joe's like, oh, why didn't I think of this? I should have done this weeks ago. You're right, you girls do need bras.
Yep.
So she's like, let's go to the mall. Bye, Gordo. You figure out something else to do this afternoon. I'm taking the girls. You're not invited anymore. He's like, that's okay.
Yep,
I'm good with that.
They hop in the mom's Chevy Tahoe. I feel like she drives a Chevy Tahoe for some reason. She's, I don't know, like, what kind of music do you think Joe McGuire listens to?
I feel like it's probably late 80s, something like The Cure.
The Cure? You think she's a Cure fan? I don't think she's, like, cool to listen to Cure.
I think so.
I get, like, I feel like she probably listens to Don't Stop Believin' a lot. I don't know why. Like, I just feel like she's like really into Don't Stop Believin' by Journey. Maybe Foreigner. I feel like she's a big Foreigner fan. And what's the song? Take on Me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I feel like she's really into that too. She's like into like the big 80s MTV hits. I feel like that's her thing. So yeah, maybe she's into The Cure then.
Okay.
All right. Friday, I'm in love.
So, they go to the mall, and they're in, like, a department store, and the girls are, like, trying to, like, they're sorting through, but they have no clue what they're looking at. Like, they don't know anything at all, and, Joe didn't get them measured, either.
No.
Because, like, you have to get measured to get, like, the right size, I mean, which is... I, like, looked up how to do it, because it's always such a pain in the butt when you need to redo it. You gotta measure, like, your right under to get, like, the band size, and then you gotta measure the widest part to get the cup size, and then depending on how many inches are between those two numbers, depends on the cup size.
I feel like they're not at the right place to do that, though, because the store clerk is just, like, a 16-year-old girl who is just as clueless as the mom and Lizzie.
Yeah, so they didn't go to, like, Victoria's Secrets. Like, I got my first bra at Victoria's Secrets.
Yeah, because they have the measurement girls. Those girls come in, they have their little, those little cloth rulers, the little flexible rulers.
The measuring tape? Yeah, because then I had to get measured a couple years later, and oh boy, did I go up a couple cup sizes.
Ooga.
That was the start of me being on the cusp of a D.
All right, so can we talk about the layout of the store? It's that typical sitcom department store where it's just one circular rack. You get one circular rack against like a nondescript, like gray background.
Yeah.
And you don't get a different angle of the store. You just get that one shot, which you see a lot of that. Like we saw that in the episode of Facts of Life where they shoplift. We saw that in the episode of Small Wonder where they shoplift. You only get one angle of the store. Just because like trying to build an department store set is just such a difficult thing to do for like a multicam sitcom because like they're on a set.
I mean, listen, you can't always go to Mrs. Slocum for your new bra.
But the one thing I will applaud Beverly Hills 90210 is whenever they're in a store, they're always in a store. Like they are just shot in a store.
Yeah, same with like the OC. It was always a store.
Yeah, but when you're like dealing with a sitcom, you just get this one shot of the store. Mm-hmm. You don't see the rest of the store. You just see like whatever section they're in, and then all the characters come to this one thing. And I will just say there's a lot of characters in this scene. This must be like 7 characters altogether.
Yeah, so like they're trying to like figure out what they're even looking at. They're like, I don't know. They're like, I don't know what's going on. But they also do not want help from Mrs. McGuire. They don't want any. They want to do this on their own. Because, like, they think they can handle it.
Yeah, she's just pulling shit out. She's like, oh, it's purple. You love purple, Lizzie. And she's like, no, Mom, no. Like, she's just pulling stuff off the racks. They don't even know what they want.
Yeah, they don't know what they want. They don't know what, like, because bras are not, like, a basic. There's so many different styles and sizes that it's not the easiest thing to shop for until you get to a point where you know what kind of bras you like. Like, they're going through, and their freaking, like, English teacher is walking through the department. They're like, oh, God. This is embarrassing.
And it's a guy. It's a male. It's not like a lady English teacher. It's a dude. He's shopping for like a birthday gift for his wife.
Yeah.
Lizzie has like 3 bras in her hand as he shows up, and they have this awkward 2-minute conversation. And Joe McGuire is she's just broadcasting what's going on, and she's like, "Oh, that's so nice. Well, I'm here shopping with my daughter and her friend for their first bra."
And it's like, our English teacher did not need to know that.
No, he does not need to be at the store.
And then it gets bad, because then the girls are in the dressing room, and they're trying to, they're attempting to try on the stuff, that Joe has given them to try on. And at one point, thank God, I mean, it's Disney Channel, so of course they were clothed, but Joe just, throws open the curtain, is like, "Here, Lizzie," and that's when Lizzie's like, "Nope, you gotta go. We gotta do this alone. You cannot be here."
Lizzie's like, "Mom, I'm in a dressing room. What if I had my shirt off?" And she's like, "It's just us girls." And if you look at the angle they shot it at, you see like 3 or 4 extras in the background. So there was just a lot going on. You know what? I would have been with Lizzie for this. She should have just threw that over the curtain,
or just push the curtain open a little bit. "Here you go, Lizzie."
All right, so.
Here, Miranda. But she throws the curtain open. And that's when, Lizzie's like, "Nope." Joe gives her $40.
Can I throw something out there?
And is "Fine, I'll be in the food court if you need me."
I think we talked about this in a previous episode, in the Are You Being Served episode. I have a very awkward pant size. I'm a 31-32, which is really difficult to find. There's only 2 stores that have it: JCPenney and Old Navy. JCPenney's going out of business. And sometimes the cut sizes, it's slim, ultra slim, or whatever, they fit differently. So I always have to try on jeans. And if I go to a store that's other than Old Navy or JCPenney, I am 100% trying them on. And I'll be in there. And a lot of places have that, co-ed dressing room now. Mm-hmm. So I'll be in there, and I'll just hear, there'll be someone next to me, in the, stall next to me.
Yeah.
And I'll hear the significant other come in, or whoever come in, and they're like, "Oh, I found you a cute whatever." And the person in the stall next over is just always so frustrated. Even as an adult, you're in a vulnerable place in there. You know what? I just want to just go on, try on a shirt, try on a pair of pants, and if it doesn't work out, I'll exit and I'll come back and try it on again. Or maybe I won't, because I always feel weird going back in. I think it's just the act of another person coming in and just insisting that you try something else on is just a frustrating thing. I don't know. I hear it, and I sense the tension. I hear grown-ass old men, 60-year-old men, and their wives come in and "I found you a jacket." And they're just "Get the fuck out of here. There's a vulnerability to it. I don't know. It is. It's not hard to explain, but it is hard to explain.
No, I understand, because whenever I'm in a dressing room, here's the thing. I go shopping by myself.
I do too. I
do not bring another person. It's just part of whatever errands I'm running that day. God, I miss running errands though right now, let me tell ya. I miss it. But I go in and I'll be trying on whatever pair of black freaking pants I need for work, because the others have gotten bleach all over them or whatever. And I'm I'm looking in the mirror, and then I hear there's always a mom and a teenage daughter fighting over some dress for prom or formal or whatever, or something that's cut too low, and the daughter's "Oh no, it's not," and the mother's "Yes, it is. You are not wearing that to school." I get that. I hear that all the time.
It's awful. It's awful. You know what?
So
single stall, soundproof rooms, dressing rooms is the way to go. I want you know what? They're phone booth, phone booth style. You go in, it's a soundproof closet.
Yes.
You change. You can't hear anyone next to you. You don't know what the fuck's going on out there.
Mm-hmm.
There could be an apocalypse going on, and you're just shielded from the outside world. That's what I want. You know what? If I ever run a department store or any kind of store, clothing store, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna, you know what? What's that foam sound? They see recording studios. You know you don't hear what's going on outside. That's what I want.
Yeah.
If I'm ever running for president, that's gonna be my stance. I want foam wall dressing rooms.
Soundproof dressing rooms.
Somewhere Superman can go in and change.
Okay. Yeah. So Lizzie and Miranda start to try to figure this out on their own, and they're getting really confused by the numbers and the letters. They don't know what any of it means, And while they're searching through, Kate and Claire come up, and they're complete bitches. They're all "The Flitty pajamas are over there." But then, Claire's mom comes up, and she's sweet as pie. She's just "Hi, girls. How are you doing? I haven't seen you guys in forever. Oh, you girls should come by someday. Do you girls need any help? And they're like, oh no, we're good, but thank you. So it's like the poor mother doesn't know that her daughter is a raging bitch.
Well, the mother's like, oh, Lizzie, where's your mom?
Yeah.
Lizzie's like, oh, we're shopping on our own because, like, we're cool.
Yeah.
And you got this, like, envious look from Claire and Kate that was great.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, oh, like, you got to go to the mall without your mom.
Of course, Kate and Claire dress very much alike. It's basically, they just each have, like, a signature color, basically.
Oh, yeah. They're just, it's matching outfits, but different color.
Yeah.
They all leave. Claire, Kate, and Claire's mom leave, and then Lizzie and Miranda, they realize they're, like, over their head. They're like, wait, like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know what 32, 34, 36 means. I don't know what C or D or B means. So they ride out to the food court. Joe McGuire's just sitting there. She's just chilling in front of Sbarro's, just sipping on her, like, little cardboard cup, drinking her Coca-Cola, Diet Coke or whatever. Mm-hmm. I was going to say she's, like, flipping through her phone, but this is, like, flip phone era. There's no internet phone, so maybe she's just, like, reading a circular ad.
Yeah, this is barely flip phone era. This is, like, the Nokia brick.
Yeah, like, what was she doing? Like, she was just sitting there? Like, what was she doing?
I think she was reading a book. I think she had a book she was reading.
You know what?
Like, she probably stopped in at the Borders or something and picked up a book.
Oh, yeah, she bought, like, a Danielle Steele novel or something.
Something, yeah.
All right, so they confront Joe McGuire, and they're like, all right, we need your help. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. Can you please come in and just pinpoint us in the right direction? And the mom apologizes. She's like, I'm sorry that I was just being, like, a weird-ass mom. You know what? I remember when I was 11 years old or whatever, how old they are, and I bought my first bra or whatever, and my mom was just acting like the way I'm acting right now, and I, like, made a vow that I will never, like, treat my children that way, but yet I've become that woman.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of has her own reckoning there. She comes to her own realization. We don't get it on, like, a grand screen level. We get it on, like, just the way of, how we should see our TV moms.
Yeah.
A Disney Channel original series. We don't get, like, her side of the story.
No.
We don't get her sitting in front of Sbarro's, drinking her Diet Coke, reading a fucking Danielle Steele romance novel, and, I don't know, breaking down into tears and just being like, oh my god, I'm a fucking awful human being. I can't believe that I embarrassed my daughter in front of her fucking grammar teacher, of all things. There's, like, a fun scene. There's a fun, like, cutaway scene to the animated Lizzie, where Lizzie's like, why is what's his name, Mr. Weatherspoon or something? Why is Mr. Weatherspoon here? Shouldn't he be at home having a grammar emergency?
Yeah, like, oh my god, it's totally the thing you'll think of when you're, like, 13, though. Like, why is my teacher, like, in the real world?
All right, that's the beauty of the cutaway scenes. So the cutaway scenes are kind of, they're her inner dialogue. They're Lizzie's inner dialogue. It's her inner thoughts.
Yeah.
And they're used as a placeholder to connect two different scenes. They're great. They're golden. I don't know. I want, like, a cut scene of all those.
I'm pretty sure you can find that on YouTube.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Animated Lizzie is everything. I love her. Oh my god, she's the greatest. And I really want to know what animated Lizzie looks like as a grown-up.
I'm picturing Kathy the comic strip.
Oh my god, no.
For some reason, I don't know why. chocolate, ack.
No. Okay, so
you don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
Like, a part of me thinks that the writers of Lizzie McGuire were just, like, envisioning Kathy the comic strip, but Kathy the comic strip as a tween. I don't know. That's the vibe that I got. I don't know about you.
Well, originally it wasn't going to be animated. It was just going to be like a voiceover kind of thing.
Oh, kind of like like 30 Rock does it a lot.
Okay, so, the girls get their first bras. Everything's chill. Everything's gotten cool. But then we have this side plot.
Oh my god.
Which is actually one of the classic Matt, like, this is just like a classic episode. It's got a classic Lizzie story. It's got a great Matt story. It balances perfectly.
And I have a hut tie-in to this for some reason. I don't know why. All right, so Matt's storyline is,
okay.
He's reading, like, a website or whatever. I don't know. He finds out that there's a contest where they want to have the next sidekick in a Jet Li movie.
Yes.
Jet Li, I think like Romeo Must Die must have just came out, or whatever movie he was in at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the hot thing. Like, we're in a post-Matrix, we're in a martial arts world. We got a lot of cool, like, fight movies. We got, like, Lethal Weapon 4, which Jet Li was in. We have The Matrix, which has a lot of these martial arts type things. Romeo Must Die, which is, like, Romeo and Juliet, but, like, set to, like, a martial arts background. It's just a weird time to be alive. I don't know. Jet Li was the next up-and-coming thing. He was, like, the new Jackie Chan.
Okay.
Hotter, younger Jackie Chan. Is that Jet Li? Is like the best way to sum up Jet Li? He was the Scorpion. He was the Scorpion King.
I think so, yeah. Like, I had to think about it. It's like, oh, yeah, he was in Lethal Weapon 4. I was just talking about Lethal Weapon 4 the other day.
Like, I think I could only name, like, 3 Jet Li movies. I think it's Lethal Weapon 4, Romeo Must Die, and that one... I don't know if it's a Scorpion King or The Mummy. It's one of those, like, related movies. Those are the only 3 movies I've ever seen him in. Okay. Those are the only movies I know that he's in. But for some reason, he's the main he's the main focal point of this. And when they said the Jet Li movie sidekick contest, I know exactly who they were talking about.
But, like, the kind of thing, for Matt, that's probably cool. Like, he's reading this magazine and, like, yes!
And we talked about this in our TMNT Patreon episode, that martial arts and karate and ninja type things were really cool back in the day. Like, that was what, like, anyone ages, like, 6 to 11 were into, was martial arts stuff. I don't know why. It's just a thing. And it doesn't exist today.
Yeah.
I guess in a way, maybe it's like Star Wars being a Jedi, but back in the day, it was... You wanted to be a ninja.
Yeah.
That's what you wanted to be. That was like your goal in life. You were not going to go to college. You were just going to graduate from high school. You're just going to become a ninja. Like, that was my path. Like, I had nothing else planned in life. I just thought I was going to, like, you know what? I was going to, like, crash through a skylight, fight, like, 40 security guards, and steal secrets to something. I don't know. Like, that's what I thought, like, adulthood was. Just being a ninja for some reason.
Yeah, no, I get it.
There was nothing else.
Like, it was huge. It was insane. And then, like...
It went away.
Kids today, like, they don't even, like, play ninja.
I would go into, like, my kitchen, and I would take flour out of the flour bag, and I would, like, pour it into the little coffee
filters.
Then I would tie them up, and I would make these little, like fake smoke bombs, and I would rip them open, and, like, the little flower plume would come out, and that was, like, my pretend smoke bomb, and I thought I could, like, disappear and hide behind, like, a tree, and no one would see me. Like, I just... Like, that was life to me. I just thought, like, you know, life was just, like, escaping mysteriously out of situations. And that, you know, the government was going to hire me to, like, break into, like, a facility and, like, steal, like, blueprints to something. Like, I legit thought that's what life was going to be like as an adult.
Yeah.
And so did Matt. So did the character Matt. Like, he's just like, shit, I'm going to be Jet Li's sidekick. And then I'm going to be catapulted to a life of fame.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to be an actual ninja. He was just going to play a ninja. Mm-hmm. Kind of like how John Stamos plays a doctor on ER.
Yeah, so his dad is like, well, let's write an essay. And Matt's like, no, I think we should do, like, an actual martial arts film. Like, we should make a movie so, like, I can show off how good I am.
Gordo just happens to be there because of the whole, like, going to the mall for the bra thing. So he decides to be the director of this film.
Yeah.
And...
Yes, because that's what Gordo wants to be. Gordo wants to be a director, and he wants to make movies. And throughout the series, he's making, like, little movies and stuff.
Can I just point out, there's one scene where I guess Matt is supposed to be... He's, like, swinging around a rake as if it's a sword or something.
Yeah.
And they play the coolest, like, flipping a sword around sound effect, like, while he's spinning around the rake. And I, like, kept rewinding that scene because I just had to watch it, like, 40 times. I was like, as he's, like, flipping around a rake in this scene. And he's wearing, like, the quintessential karate suit. It's, like, the Karate Kid costume, like, at his tournament. Mm-hmm. The dad, I guess, is the villain or the mentor. I couldn't tell, like, who the dad was supposed to, like, because the dad was a character in this movie. He
is supposed to be, like, the mentor, and he's like, young grasshopper. Like, the idea is, young grasshopper, you will have completed your training when you can get this rock from my hand without me noticing, you know?
Yeah, and it's... Matt grabs it out of his hand really easily, and Gordo's pissed. Gordo's like, no, like, we need conflict. we need to build up the story, and the dad just doesn't know how to do this because he's only good at like science or whatever. I don't know what the fuck what's his career? Like, what does he do for work?
Yeah, like the dad's like kind of frustrated. This isn't like the dad wanted him to write an essay. He thinks like doing a video is ridiculous. And so he's like, you know what? I'm going to show them what martial arts is really like. So I'm going to call my friend David, who happens to teach Kung Fu.
And it's Robert Carradine's real life brother, David Carradine, the star of Kung Fu. And hold on. I was thinking about this. I was doing the math in my head. So the movie Kill Bill, the Quentin Tarantino spaghetti western / martial arts movie, starring David Carradine, came out in 2003.
Uh-huh.
And this is probably right before David Carradine started filming Kill Bill. So he had the Bill look from that movie.
Yeah.
He had like the same hairstyle that Bill has in Kill Bill. And I was like, holy shit. Mr. McGuire called up the actual like Bill from Kill Bill. And so like the Lizzie McGuire universe and the Kill Bill universe is the same.
Yeah.
Just because of the way, well, I guess the Kill Bill character really like is the Kung Fu character from the TV show Kung Fu in a weird way. The way that they, like, I don't know, I just watching David Carradine in this and I was just thinking, holy shit, he's acting the same way that Bill acted with like Uma Thurman's character in Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. And I was like, shit, this takes place in the same universe. And it just blew my mind. And it's really weird. David Carradine comes out. And you know, like an 11-year-old girl or even like a tween boy at this point in time, they don't know what the fuck Kung Fu is. They don't know who David Carradine is.
Okay, to be fair, there was a syndicated show from 95 to 97 called Kung Fu, The Legend Continues, that starred David Carradine.
There was, but would a 10, 11-year-old girl at this time know about Kung Fu, The Legend Continues, or the original series Kung Fu?
If their parents watched it, yes.
Maybe so. But just the way that David Carradine like walks onto the set and they show him and they play that weird little Kung Fu music, I was just like, this is so surreal to me. This is just, it all makes sense now. It all makes sense.
I mean, I think this was more for the parents who get sucked into watching with their kids.
Oh, yeah.
Than for the kids.
That is true. But it was just...
like a Girl Meets World. Minkus showing up as Farkle's dad is more for those of us who watch Boy Meets World than it is for like the kids who just got into Girl Meets World.
Well, they got to throw those like tongue-in-cheek jokes out there for the parents. But I don't know. I just thought it was just wild that David Carradine walks out. They play this like weird Kung Fu style music. And they really like hone in on the character. And then like the boys, Gordo and Matt, are like, who was that? And I don't know, the dad's just like, oh no, he's just a guy who's good at karate. And you're just like, oh, like it all makes sense now. That's actually Bill from the Kill Bill series. And you know what? He's trying to create an army of young kids of a new deadly Viper assassination squad. And then it's just wild that then the Kill Bill movie came out like a year after this episode aired, or like a year or two.
Yeah.
2 years. He totally had the same haircut as the character Bill.
I feel like his hair, though, is very much the same throughout most of his career.
That is true.
I totally forgot he was in one of my favorite miniseries until I was scrolling through his immense IMDb page.
What miniseries is that?
And because he was in North and South, which also starred Patrick Swayze, Leslie Ann Down.
Everyone's favorite, Leslie Ann Down.
Oh my god, I'd love that miniseries. Okay, fuck it. I have to put that on later.
All right, but
to have it on DVD.
The tragedy. Can we talk about like really quickly about the tragedy of David Carradine? I don't know why, but I'm just like so enthralled.
Okay.
David Carradine in like 2008, 2009ish, like went to, was it Thailand? He went to Bangkok. He flew to Bangkok.
He went to Bangkok.
And he was like filming a really like weird out there movie. I've seen the movie. What's it called? Stretch? Was it Stretch?
I don't know. All I know is that somehow this poor man died 2009 and he still has new credits on IMDb. 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2021. He has credits for.
Yeah, all right, so I guess...
it is wild.
Conspiracy Corner. I don't know if they do kind of a weird, I don't know if this is like a a Tiger King situation where he just wants his entire life filmed.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, there's just a lot of unaired footage of David Carradine. Well, actually, we'll go back like a few years. So, like, David Carradine had a big career in the 70s. He was in the series Kung Fu.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the miniseries North and South in the 80s. In the 90s, he did Kung Fu Legend Continues. And those were kind of like his like main... that was like his main thing for a while. And he kind of like fell off the radar. And then Quentin Tarantino brought him back for Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. And that kind of like put him back on the map. And... I don't know, all of a sudden, like, everyone wanted to work with him again. Like, you know, it was like, oh, we want to work with David Carradine.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, he booked a ton of work, or I don't know what happened. He booked a ton of work.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2009, he flew out to Bangkok, was working on the movie Stretch, which I think has come out since then. It has come out since then. It's like a really weird movie.
Yeah, it has.
So while he was there, he was, like, working at a hotel. He was into some freaky shit, I guess. He was into some, like, weird freaky shit. And he died of autoerotic asphyxiation. That's like where you kind of like, you strangle yourself, like, as you're about to orgasm. And it's a thing that, like, I guess I've never done it, so I guess it feels really good. It's like the ultimate orgasm. A lot of people accidentally die from it because it happens. It happens in weird situations.
You're denying yourself air.
But it happens in weird situations. It's not like you like do it with your wife. You do it with like your mistress, or you do it with like the whore that you buy.
Yeah.
And they freak out and they take off and they leave. And I don't know, then like the police find you like 3 days later and you're dead, naked, hanging from like a closet, completely nude, with like your hand on your dick.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that kind of thing. And it happens to a lot of people. Like if you look up, go to the autoerotic asphyxiation page on Wikipedia, and there's like a notable cases like subcategory. And it like you can scroll for like 20 minutes and they have like all these cases of it. It's wild. It's fucking wild. And it's happened to a lot of famous people.
Yeah.
So that's how he perished. And then like I don't know, his like family wanted to sue hold on, I gotta look this up. Like immediately this is read from Wikipedia. Immediately following his death, two of Carradine's former wives stated publicly that his sexual interests included the practice of self-bondage. Photographs, actually, of the death scene were, like they were started to be sold to, like, those, like, shock and awe websites, so those started popping up. And then, on the first anniversary of his death, Carradine's widow, Annie Carradine, announced that she had filed a lawsuit for wrongful death against the company that produced the film Stretch that Carradine was working on at the time of his death. The lawsuit claimed that the company failed to provide assistance to the actor that had been agreed upon in his contract. The suit alleges the assistant left him behind for dinner on the night before the actor was found dead. The assistant and other film staffers apparently could not reach Carradine and decided to leave without him. Carradine called the assistant an hour later, but was told the group was across town and he would have to make his own arrangements that evening. Annie Carradine reached a settlement with MK2 Productions in August 2011. She was awarded $400,000 from the film company.
Damn.
As part of the wrongful death. And even the wrongful death suit doesn't make sense to me. Like, it's weird. Like, I feel like there was something else going on.
There probably was something else going on, but they're not going to talk about it in the public.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, I was just trying to put this all together, and I'm like, this is weird. I don't know. Like, there's something weird going on. Like, I need to know. Tell me, baby girl, I need to know.
Oh my god, like, I totally, like, didn't, like, look into this last night when I was looking up the Carradine family. I was just trying to put the family tree together. I was so confused putting the family tree together.
So, I'm guessing in between, the Kill Bill popularity in between 2003 and 2009, David Carradine must have just filmed a bunch of stuff. He must have just put himself out there. He probably had like a film crew that followed him around or something. Because somehow this guy just keeps appearing in things. And it's just really weird. I don't know. Conspiracy Corner.
I mean, it's like Tupac. Tupac released the new music like years after his death. It's like, oh, we got new Tupac music. It's like, how? How do you have new Tupac music? How much music did that man record before he died?
With Tupac, I get the kind of like the Prince Michael Jackson thing, where he probably recorded himself like thousands of times. And, you know,
Probably.
an album only has like 12 songs on it. So he probably just has like thousands and thousands of songs. And the same thing with like Jimi Hendrix. Like Jimi Hendrix died in like the 70s, but we get new music from him like every like 4 years. It's wild. It's a wild time. It's a wild time to be a celebrity, I guess.
Okay, so the episode ends with this scene at the end where they get a phone call and Sam McGuire answers the phone and he is told that Matt has won the contest to be Jet Li's sidekick. And then we never hear about this contest ever again.
Yeah, so I want to point out, so the dad and the mom, they really didn't want Matt to go along with the Jet Li sidekick project because they just thought, you know, we don't want to raise our son in this world. But you know what? There's no way he's going to win this, so we'll just, like, entertain the idea just to, like, shut him up for the fucking weekend because he's a fucking crackhead. Our crackhead son that just, like, steals Joe's, like, caffeine pills because he thinks they're Flintstones. So they go along with it. He wins the contest, and, like, I don't know, like, in, like, a normal...
Yeah.
Like, in a modern-day sitcom, that would be, like, the next episode. It would be, like, Matt's, Jet Li movie, and I don't know, it feels miserably. No, it's not mentioned again. It's never mentioned again. The next episode is the lounge act episode involving Gordo, where he's like into the Rat Pack.
Yeah.
And the rest of the school becomes like into the Rat Pack because like Lizzie makes it a thing. As I said, like the way like the references in the show, the fact that they try to make the Rat Pack cool in 2001 to 12-year-olds is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Because, like, when I think of Frank Sinatra, I think of him and Ava Gardner in, like, 1949 getting drunk one day, driving on their way back from Palm Springs to LA. They stop in Indio, California, and just decide to get drunk and, like, shoot out fucking street light lamps.
Oh, my gosh.
That's my favorite Frank Sinatra story ever. I don't know. Have you ever read that story? Involving Frank Sinatra shooting out streetlight lamps with Ava Gardner in Indio, California?
I mean, I've heard it before.
We've talked about it on this podcast. I brought it up like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
You gotta read the story. It's wild. It's fucking wild.
Okay.
They get down there. Frank Sinatra just happens to have a gun in his Cadillac, and he shoots out like 2 or 3 street lamps, and Ava Gardner's like, I want to shoot out street lamps. So they just start fucking shoot out street lamps. They get drunk and shoot out street lamps. Like, Hollywood fucking... I want like a Ryan Murphy 12-episode Netflix series just based around that fucking story right there.
Oh, I mean, he's got an old Hollywood story coming out.
Yeah, so you know what? Throw it in there.
Starring Derek Chris.
Yeah, I love it. You know what?
Okay.
Let's put it into existence.
So earlier you said you kind of have an idea what you think happened to everybody, but can I read you something that, okay, this is from May 31st, 2012. This is actually originally from a chat between me and Heather.
Oh, like friend of the show, Heather?
Yes, friend of the show, Heather. We were talking about Lizzie McGuire. I mean, this is 2012, so it was a while ago. I actually copied it into a Tumblr post, and it only has 110 notes, but it is a post that still gets reblogged. It's like my most recent thing on my Tumblr page to have been reblogged is this post.
Let's hear it, girl. Let's hear it.
I don't know how people find it because it's from 2012 and it just still keeps
resurfacing,
popping up. Okay. So this is what I said. I like to think Lizzie and Gordo dated throughout high school. I also think she and Miranda stopped being friends though, because of everything that happened in Rome. Because at this point, Lizzie has gotten closer to Kate and Ethan, and of course Gordo, because they kissed at the end of the Lizzie McGuire movie. And then I say Lizzie and Gordo hung out more with Kate and Ethan. Miranda ended up hanging out with the art kids who dress in all black and can't decide if they're goth, emo, tortured souls, or just angry. Senior prom night, Lizzie and Gordo did it for the first time because they would totally be into that cliche. Over the summer, they broke up. Gordo went to NYC for film school. Lizzie went to State and majored in communications. Kate and Ethan also went to State where they continued to date, break up more than you would think possible. After college, Kate and Ethan moved back to their hometown where they spent another year in their vicious cycle before Ethan proposed and they get married. Lizzie was the maid of honor. Gordo was the best man. Miranda, meanwhile, moved around a lot after high school, never really settling into a decent crowd until she ended up in NYC, where she became one of the hot artists. She and Lizzie ran into each other at a gallery opening. Lizzie was nice, curious, and tried to get Miranda to open up, but Miranda just decided to be bitchy instead, angry that Kate had replaced her. Matt eventually graduated high school himself, went to a party school. He now lives with his parents and makes his living vlogging. Kate and Ethan opened up an Italian bistro and had twins, a boy and a girl. Gordo got hired to be the head director of a new internet project and moved to New York City. Lizzie found out from Kate and tracked him down. Of course, she had debated with herself about if she should call him or not, and just as she decided she would call him, he called her instead. And then one day, while they were walking through the park, catching up, they come across the Occupy Wall Street movement and saw Miranda.
Oh.
Remember, this is how old this was. It's from 2012.
Yeah.
Okay? Miranda went off on them, calling them the corporate sellouts, and threw her shoes at them. Then Lizzie and Gordo walked away and didn't look back. They realized that they could never rebuild a friendship with Miranda. Lizzie and Gordo started dating again and moved in together, and now they're sharing a loft apartment, and Gordo plans to propose on the anniversary of their first kiss in Rome this summer when Lizzie goes to interview Isabella for Cosmo.
Oh my god, you know what?
It's totally cheesy, but...
I see it.
Yeah.
I see it. All right, what did I say earlier that, who did I think was... I thought that Kate was... Or Miranda that thought that the coronavirus was a hoax. Who did I say it was?
You said Kate would think coronavirus was a hoax.
All right. So Kate, you know what? Kate, in my scenario, Kate kind of went through the same course of thinking that you did. After she had her twins, she got really into motherhood, and she started researching things. She started researching vaccines. She started believing that, vaccines were the cause for a lot of ailments in kids, things like autism and stuff, that whole, Jenny McCarthy thing. And I don't know.
Fucking Jenny McCarthy.
Yeah, she became a Trumpette, like a super Donald Trump supporter. Started following that whole far right thing. She thinks the far left is the enemy. She starts thinking that, you know what, they're the reason, they're against the prosperity of America. And then I don't know, in 2020, obviously now we're in quarantine, and she thinks that the coronavirus is like a ploy to just sink the American dream. She thinks that it's gonna bankrupt everybody, and that's just kind of the person is. She's doing Facebook Lives. She's warning America about all of this. She's probably, I don't know, who knows? She's spouting facts that she reads on Twitter. That's just the person that I kind of think Kate is right now.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm seeing a lot on Facebook and in the internet live right now, which is why I'm trying to avoid the internet.
Yeah.
Hence my hesitation to be part of the internet, which is why I just want to get myself wrapped up in 2001 Lizzie McGuire episodes and just let me die peacefully of the coronavirus.
Oh, don't die. Don't die, Abby.
All right, on a hot scale of 1 out of 5 purple training bras, how many purple training bras would you give this episode of Lizzie McGuire? And hold on, I'm on the edge of my seat. I just want to know, are we gonna get the gold star standard here? Are we get middle ground? Is this horrible? I don't know what to expect. I legitimately, sometimes I think I know you, and other times I'm I don't know her.
Okay.
Because last week we did Are You Being Served? I thought you were going to give it a 5, and you gave it a 4, and I was flabbergasted. So,
oh my gosh. Okay, this is getting a very, very rare 5.
Whoa! I'm going to give this episode a 5 also, because this is my first introduction into the Lizzie McGuire verse.
Yeah.
And I went back, I watched the episodes after this, then I went back and watched the episodes leading up to this, and I'm now fully immersed in this world.
Yeah.
I'm fully immersed. I need to know more. A few months ago when you were all lady boner about the Lizzie McGuire reunion, I was whatever, who gives a fuck? Now I want this. I want adult Lizzie. I want Lizzie going to the bar, Lizzie dancing at clubs, Lizzie dancing to the magic stick at a bar, and 20. I don't know, like I want like through the years Lizzie. Like I don't even want like Lizzie now. I want like flashbacks. I want like a Lost-esque
Yeah.
type series about her entire life. Like I need to know.
Okay.
Tell me, baby girl, I need to know. That's what I want.
Okay.
I'm invested. I'm sold. I'm like tonight. I'm probably gonna finish off the series. I'll probably tap it off.
Yeah.
Like,
You gotta watch the whole series, and then you gotta watch the movie.
yeah. Oh, you like? Should we rebrand as the new Lizzie McGuire podcast? Because I feel like
Don't freaking tempt me, because I will sit here and do a Lizzie McGuire podcast.
And hold on. Do you want to know? As I said last night, that I watched this with a coworker who was like fully immersed in this world.
Uh-huh.
We watched 12 episodes. We still had an hour and a half left of our work day, and she's like, "We have to watch Smart House." I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Smart House. It's a DCOM, a Disney Channel original movie." And I was like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Smart House?
I have. Last time was the first time you saw Smart House?
Last night was the first time I ever saw Smart House, and I have to say, I'm a changed man. Like now, I just want to go back and watch every DCOM ever because I was not ready for Smart House. But
Oh my god.
all right, but we're doing it.
Wait. I have to ask you a question. This is very, very important.
Yes.
Have you seen Xenon,
I've seen Xenon.
Girl of the 21st Century?
The last Disney Channel, the last DCOM I've ever seen, like
Okay.
as a child, was Brink, like the rollerbladed movie, which is what, like 97-ish?
Okay. Something like that. Yeah. I don't even know.
That was when I aged out. Like Brink was when I aged out of that demographic. But to be fair,
Yeah.
I was like a Nickelodeon kid. I was more into Nickelodeon than Disney Channel. So like
Okay.
I only know like the big ones. I only know like the main things. I knew Xenon and I knew Brink and
Brink is from August 1998.
oh, okay. All right. So that was when I checked out. I checked out after Brink. That was like my
Okay.
final hurrah.
Okay, because Smart House came out in June of 1999.
And it has Katie Seagal is in it, which is great. And I love
I know.
Katie Seagal, who played Peg Bundy, plays the voice of the Smart House, Pat.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh my god, is that Peg Bundy? And my coworker was like, who? And I'm like, Peg Bundy. I think that's Peg Bundy.
Oh my
And
god.
she's like, I don't know who that is. And I was like, never mind, I'm not getting into it. And at the end of the movie, Katie Seagal plays like a hologram of her voice, and it's Katie Seagal. And I was like, it is Peg Bundy. And she's like, I don't know who that is. And I'm like, never mind, like, forget it. Like, you don't need to know. Like, you're not worthy. You're not worthy. You're not worthy, Wayne's World style.
Oh my god, yeah.
Now that I've dipped my toes in this DCOM world, I'm like ready to dive into the deep end. So I don't know. Who knows what this podcast will evolve into? We might get some hot things.
Okay.
'Cause next week, hold on. This is kind of like a tease into next week. Kind of like old school Disney.
Mm-hmm.
This might be the crossover, you think? You think this is the crossover into this brave new world of Patrick M. Dunn going into DCOM?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Because this is, what we're doing next week
It's pre.
is not Disney Channel. This is like Disney Afternoon.
Yes.
Like syndicated afternoon block.
And not Kat Olsen. Heather, just like her ears just perked up because all right. We're not going to Duckburg. We're not going to Duckburg next week, but we're close. We're close.
We're close, Heather. In fact, like your favorite duck, I think, is in this, unless I am really misreading all your Instagram stories.
Launchpad.
Launchpad McQuack is in the series we're doing. Unless I am like completely stupid and don't remember anything, but I'm pretty sure Launchpad McQuack is in Darkwing Duck.
Yes. And all right, I love DuckTales. I love Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, but Darkwing Duck was my favorite of all the Disney afternoon things. Like there was a time in my life, and we'll get into it next week, where I dressed up like as a Darkwing Duck like character, and I thought I was going to like save my city.
Oh my god.
And in a way, Darkwing Duck just reminds me of the CW Arrow. Like, so we'll get into it next week too, because I am in like an intense Arrow rewatch right now because of the quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I watch an episode, I'm like, this is just like Darkwing Duck. This is Darkwing Duck. Like that's just all I experience
Oh my gosh.
as I'm watching this. So I'm excited. Any last minute thoughts on Darkwing Duck or Hilary Duff or Haley Duff? Just throw her out there. Why not? Shout out to Haley Duff. Wait, hold on. Is Hilary Duff So Yesterday? Does Hilary Duff sing So Yesterday?
Yes.
Not gonna lie. That's my favorite, like 2001, 2002 pop song is So Yesterday, So Yesterday. So shout out to that.
Really? Okay, so here's the thing. This is the thing. I love Hilary Duff so much. Like, I know it's silly, because, like, I'm a grown-ass woman, but I watched her movies that she did, like, the, Cheaper by the Dozens. I've got a Cinderella Story on DVD, where she's, like, with Chad Michael Murray. It's, like, one of my favorite movies. Like, I remember when she was on Gossip Girl, and they did the threesome. Like, oh my god, how scandalous was that? I listened to her music, and I have even read the book she wrote, because that's how much I love her. Like, I bought those books because Hilary Duff wrote them.
All right, hold on.
And so there's
You want to play the celebrity teen game right now? The teen celebrity game?
Oh god, what's the teen celebrity game?
I'm going to drop 3 gal pals right now. 3 gal pals.
Okay.
And you have to tell me who you want to be stranded on a desert island with. Is it going to be Hilary Duff, Mandy Moore? Oh yeah, Mandy Moore. Or I'm going to throw out Britney Spears. Britney Spears. Who do you want to be trapped on a desert island with for the rest of your life? Like, you're in like a weird, it's like a Gilligan's Island, but it's just you and this other person. You just spend your days gathering coconuts with, passing your time, entertaining yourselves, maybe, like, I don't know, getting in a war with the natives. Like, who knows what'll happen on this island.
Okay.
Maybe, let's break it down even more. All right. So, like, you could be on an island in, like, a warlike situation where you gotta, like, battle whoever, like, the natives to the island. And then you're on, it's just the two of you hanging out, and then it's, maybe you find out that there's a, well, let's try to think of a scenario. All right, so you're on one side of the island, you think it's marooned, and then you find, like, you're in, like, I guess a lost situation. It's where it's like the Dahmer Initiative.
Okay.
So we got those 3 things going on. So we got war with the natives, it's just the 2 of you, just the 2 of us, or, like, it's the whole lost scenario.
I'm going for a whole lost situation, let's be real.
No, hold on, but you gotta name a character to each scenario.
I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, it's between Hilary and Mandy Moore.
You want to hear mine, and then maybe you can base it on that? In my going against a war with the natives, it's gonna be Britney Spears. I feel like, you know what, she can put up a good fight. She's gone through a lot.
I mean, we've all seen her swing a baseball bat, so come on.
That is true. So, like, I feel like we gotta fight, like, the natives. They're about to, like, kill us. They're gonna, like, tie us to palm trees and, I don't know, sacrifice us to their gods. Britney Spears should be on your side for that.
Yeah.
When it's just, like, me in a hangout situation, just, like, me hanging out, just chilling, just me vibing, I'm gonna say Hilary Duff. Like, me and Hilary Duff are gonna vibe. It's just her and I. We're gonna climb palm trees and pull out some coconuts. But when I'm in, like, a lost situation, I want Mandy Moore. I think Mandy Moore can hold her ground.
Yeah, see, I agree with that. I agree with all of that.
All right, okay. Good call. You think that's a good island scenario? We want to hear your island scenarios.
Yeah.
Tweet us at Very Podcast. Tell us your island scenarios. Do you have a different person that you want to be on an island with? Maybe
Yes.
Maybe you want to be on an island with Jesse McCartney. Who knows? Like, I don't know. Like, could Jesse McCartney fight against the natives?
Oh my gosh.
Or Aaron Carter, who
I haven't thought about that kid in a while. Wow. Oh my gosh. I feel like the last time I thought about him was when he randomly dropped a single.
like 3 or 4 years ago, right?
A year or something ago. I don't even know.
Friend of the show, friend of the pod. All right. You think we should pack up the wagon, head out,
I think we should.
deliver some newspapers to all the townsfolk?
I think we're good.
But we got some important messages.
We have spent like almost 2 hours talking about Lizzie McGuire.
And you know what? As I said, I could have done a whole podcast, like, series about this series, because, like, I'm invested now. I'm invested.
Yeah, see?
Fully in it.
I've been telling you to watch this, and you didn't listen to me, and then you did, and look at you now.
I know. So join us next week when we rebrand as the Lizzie McGuire, the McGuire Chronicles. We're going to get a new GIF. We're going to get a new Twitter handle. Well, no, we're not. We're just kidding.
We're just kidding.
We're going to Darkwing Duck. We're doing Darkwing Duck. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe we'll revisit it. Maybe we'll revisit Lizzie McGuire on our Patreon. So tell us about all the things you can follow us on, because the Patreon's included, because that's important.
Okay, yes. We have a Patreon, so if you want to support us and get the bonus material we create, like the Movie Night podcast and the Commercial Corner, you can check out our Patreon. We've got a bunch of different levels, which give you all kinds of different perks and fun stuff that we are working on for you guys.
Yeah.
And then you can find us, the link should be in the show notes, right, Patrick?
In the show notes, or go on to patreon.com and just search for a very special podcast. It'll pop up. It's the first thing that pops up if you write a very special podcast on Patreon.
And then we are on Twitter at Very Podcast. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr at A Very Special Podcast. And you have obviously found us somehow already, so subscribe and keep following us for more wild adventures.
And as always, girl,
bye!
Watch the skies and wear a mask to prevent yourself from catching the coronavirus.